morning. It is Saturday. I'm going to do a little vloggy vlog of my morning. I have one client today. I don't work Saturdays, but she is one of my best clients, my favorite clients, favorite hair to do. And she recently moved to Chicago, which is about 4 hours, 3.5 hours from Indy. And I still wanted to do her hair. She still wanted to get her hair done by me. So I was like, it's fine, I'll come in on a Saturday. She's a nurse, so it's easier for her to come on the weekends. So that's why I'm here this morning. It's really bright out on the front porch, but it feels good. I'm just waiting till she gets here. And yeah, I'm going to show you kind of how I do her hair. I'm not quite sure what she wants. Last time we did a full highlight. I don't know if she wants to keep up that blonde or if she wants to go a little bit more of a balayage natural for fall coming up, so who knows. But her hair is always amazing, so I love doing it and showing it. She was actually my beach balayage model, so if you've seen my online, education, that's her. Her name's Allie. She's freaking adorable. So yeah, I'm gonna do her hair. Okie dokie guys, I haven't done a voiceover and I don't remember how long, so bear with me. Also, if you hear panting, my dog just came from outside playing frisbee, so there's that. But here's her before. We did a full highlight and it was like a darker level 9. You can see that on my Instagram if you are interested, links down below from her last appointment, but it was done back in like early May, I think. So we are touching that up, and she wants to go for a more lived-in blonde color to get her through the like fall time. She lives in Chicago, like I said, so she can't come down very often. So we want something that grows out super easily. So I'm just starting with some highlights around her hairline to get that nice and bright. This is going to mimic the hairline that I do in the front so that when she pulls her hair up, which she does every day for work because she's a nurse, it's not like a gaping hole in the back of her head where the highlights are disconnected from the front ones. I like to keep the hairline pretty similar around her entire head so that, yeah, you don't have like this black hole in the back of her head and then a bunch of face rimming highlights in the front. That's just my personal preference. Also, this technique is not a technique that I do on like a bunch of clients. This is more of a color correction because we are dealing with a lot of grow out and brassy tones and we're going for kind of a different look. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a couple different things than I normally would with just like a normal teasy light. I'm also not doing my normal teasy light pattern. If you are interested in how I do like my typical teasy light, there's a link in the description to my online education, or you could also just go to lexidon.com and that has all of my education on it there. Anyway, back to this. So I'm just doing diagonal back against the hairline to get it nice and bright and even, and then I just connect that in the middle. The diagonal back highlights connect to the very tip of that corner in the back, but that just helps there be a little bit more background of a highlight. And then I'm going to baby light this or just normal highlight that with fine weaves and tease a little bit. Her hair doesn't tease very well, as you will see as we keep going, so I just have to work on really blending that up, and then I am doing a root toner at the bowl, which will also help with blending. So after I did those two straight across highlights, I'm working on these two angles. I go back and forth between angling on the side and horizontal in the middle just to get some breakup between the highlights and the low light I will be doing later on. And I'm not doing a ton of highlights in the back. I'm keeping it pretty minimal just to give some dimension, I guess, to her hair, especially underneath. But I did want to do some highlights to break it up so it's not just solid dark. So you'll see here I'm doing another horizontal, weaving, teasing. I always weave before I tease. I don't really know the point of teasing before weaving, but some people like to do that. I don't think it really matters, honestly. So if you tease first and then weave, or if you weave first then tease, they're pretty much the exact same thing, so don't overthink it. Anyway, I am completely saturating and covering her ends when needed. If there's some pieces that are pretty much as bright as I want them, I'm not going to put them in the foil, but here in the back, I put a lot of it in a foil because it is brassy. It has been a long time since she had her hair highlighted, and last time we didn't lift it all the way to its breaking point to where it was like super blonde, so it could take another highlighting session. Also, her hair is extremely strong and it does not get damaged very easily from bleach. I mean, at least I've never damaged it, so I don't really know how tough it would be if I tried to damage it, which I will not be doing, but anyway. Okay, moving on. After I finished highlighting, I go back in with Shades EQ 7NB and 7G equal parts processing solution, and I'm going through and I'm kind of dragging down the sections I left out further down, and then you'll see in a sec that I'm going to tip out those ends with lightener. The lightener I'm using for everything is Oxycur with 20 volume and Olaplex. Oxycur is by Goldwell, by the way. It's my favorite lightener also. Yeah, so here I'm tipping out those pieces that I dragged the lowlight down with. I'm just keeping all of that out of a foil. It's just gonna like lay over top of the foils that are already there, and I'm letting those ends open air process. I'm also taking that lowlight and covering any tease that I do to create more of a blend when I brush it out. Because when you brush, like when you tease up, you're still getting light pieces pushed up. So covering those with a low light, especially if you're doing low lights in that same service, will ensure that those pieces left out aren't brassy and aren't from the old lightener, but that now they're toned and covered in the new color that you're putting everywhere else. It's also a really good technique if you're struggling with making sure things are blended. I really like that technique. So you'll see me working in section by section. Her hair is really, really thick and long, and so by the time I get done with one side, the back is done processing. So that's why I'm adding the low light and tip outs right now. I haven't even started the highlight on the front two sections because I know that these back sections are going to be done processing, and I want the low light and the tip outs to be done processing at the same time as those highlights because I rinse it out. So like in this clip, I already did both highlights on the front sections, which is literally the same pattern, just at a diagonal back. I did face framing highlights up to the root, and you'll see me do her like legit face framing ones like in the front because I sectioned those to do last. And then I'm just going through each side. I've already done the other side, the low lights like sections, and then the tip outs. The back is all rinsed out right now. You can't see it, but it was done processing when I finished putting the one of the sides in, so I went and rinsed it out, clipped it away with a towel and a clip, and then I started highlighting the last section. So I just did two side sections and parted her down the middle. I didn't do a mohawk because I didn't want like too heavy of a highlight on top of her head and like close to her root. I just wanted it pretty easy grow out because like I said, she's doesn't live in town. She lives about 3.5 hours away, and so she can't get her hair done all that often. So I wanted to keep it good until either before Christmas or after the holidays. There's Hannah. Hannah and I died laughing in the salon when we noticed that her head just popped up there. It was so funny. Anyway, This side's done processing, so I just pull those out and have her tilt her head so that I can rinse those out and not get the other side wet. So that's just another little tidbit tip, that move the client's head around to accommodate you, because it's going to be easier for you in the long run. You're doing this for years and years and years. And also it's going to be better results on their hair color, and it's not that big of a deal. She was tilted that way for like maybe 30 seconds. So I'm taking 30 volume oxycur here, and I'm popping in these face framing highlights. This whole like color service was, I was rushing because her hair lightens quickly. Well, it doesn't lighten super quickly, but like each section takes me a while, and I'm a pretty fast worker. So like I didn't have time to highlight these sections before I had to rinse out that side. So I just highlighted them real quick at the bowl. There's only 4 pieces, and I did 30 volumes, so they're gonna lift really fast because that hair is like sensitive and fragile, so it lifts pretty quickly. That was me just brushing out. Everyone asks me what I use to brush out. I either use a really slippery conditioner, or I've been really loving Guy Tang's, like, I don't even know what it is. It's like a reparative something. He has a spray, and he also has like 2 different creams. So yeah, just look at Guy Tang's stuff. It's at Cosmoprof where I live, but anyway, again, I keep saying anyway. I'm rusty on these voiceovers, so sorry. This is her root. I'm dragging it down like 3 inches in the back, 2 inches on the sides, and then just like a ½ inch around her face. It's Shades EQ. Let me look up what I have in my notes. You guys, this is such a rough voiceover, but here we are. Okay, your root is 7NB, 7N, 7G, and 7NA. Just a splash of 7G and 7NA. It's mostly 7NB and 7N. This is like a neutral warm bronze color we're going for. So, and then all of her gloss is 8N, 8GI, 8NA. And I start in the mids on the back section, and then the back corners of those 2 side sections that you saw. So I apply it to the mids on that. Then I go back to the back section and do the ends, and then I do those back corners again, the ends. So it's like in a pattern, so the mids first, then the back. Then I do like right behind the face framing, get all of that all nice and saturated, and then I go for the actual face framing. So the face framing I always apply last, because 1, it's going to soak up the toner quicker than the back, and also I want it to be the brightest, so I want it on there the least amount of time. That sat on there for about 3 minutes maybe. I do flash toners. Her hair also grabs tone really quickly, so I don't have to keep it on that long. I do have clients where their hair doesn't take tone very fast, so I have to keep it on longer, but hers does not have that problem. So yeah, as you can see, it is the most beautiful beigey, warm beige color. I love her hair so much. Like, it will literally do whatever I want, and it's always so strong at the end. Like, the integrity is never compromised no matter how much I lighten it or do to it. Like, she's been so many different colors. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see she's like always on it, because she always likes change and wants to do something different every time, even if it's just like slightly different. So it's really fun doing her hair and posting it, and everyone that's like legit on my Instagram all knows her, and clients always brings her like hair color photos in. And yeah, she's just awesome. She's also like stunning, so she models her hair really well. And I can't say enough good things about her, okay? I took a clip of me like taking her photo because I get a lot of questions about this, and I actually should probably do like a little webinar on how I take photos. But yeah, everyone asks me what I use, and this is what I use. It's this really shitty poster board that I got from Walmart. It's so beat up I need a new one. But here's her end result. Look how freaking cute she is. the perfect warm beige hair color. It's going to grow out like seamlessly, and it's amazing. I love this color, and I hope you guys did too. So thanks for listening to this shitty voiceover. Alright, I'm back home. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how that color went. Loved the end result, but it's not like a normal technique that I usually do. It was more of a color correction. So it took me 3.5 hours, which is typical for her hair. Like 2.5, 3.5, because she has like super thick hair. It's every time she comes in it's longer, so that always adds time. And she lives in Chicago, and so she has, when she comes down, it's like it's not like a maintenance, it's like a complete thing because she's let it grow out for a while, which is totally fine. I like doing that stuff. But I was gonna walk through, like, I kind of explained it in the video. Whoopsies. I kind of explained it in the video, but our goal was like a brondy color with some pops of blonde at the end, which is what we did. I did do a full color, so usually if it was more of a maintenance, I would have just done like touch-ups or a partial or face framing. I wouldn't go fully into the back of her head or into these sides where I like that depth. But since we did full blonde last time and we were going for more of a lived-in blonde this time, I had to add a little bit more depth back in. I had to blend some things. I didn't want to just do a couple teasy lights here and there and then tone, because then there would still be like the lines of grow out, and I didn't want any of that. Her hair also does not tease, which I've had people ask me what I do in situations like that where hair doesn't tease. And I tease as much as I can, and then I really just work on swiping up to blend, taking really fine sections, and then toning, like a root toner at the end. That all helps the blend a ton. So if you find someone that hair that doesn't tease, you could work on those 3 things. That will also ensure that there's a really good blend in the end result. But yeah, it turned out very pretty. I was very happy with the end result, so I had to go through all of those steps. But it's essentially all the same thing all over the entire head. With her hair, since it is so long, I just rinsed as I went. That's why you saw part of her hair was wet while I was doing the front still. So, but anyway, that's kind of it. All of the formulas are down below. She was actually my beach balayage model for my online courses. So if you want to see how I did her hair there, I'll link my online courses down below. You could purchase those too if you want deeper education. They're great. You get to keep them forever, and I'm really proud of them. So go check this out if you're interested in more education, and I'll see you in my next video. Oh, also follow me on Instagram down below or at Hair by Lexi Dawn. Bye.